afternoon and welcome to today's edition of Sports Orbit. My name is Afacho. Salif Usman is also in the studio with me. Salif, welcome to Sports Orbit.
Thank you, Ashu.
And today's edition of the program will start from the ongoing under-20 AFCON currently taking place in Cairo, Egypt, where Flying Eagles coach Aliyu Zubairu says his team will go all out for a win against Kenya in their final Group B game at the ongoing CAF under 20 AFCON. The seven-time champions were held to a 0-0 draw by Morocco in the second round game on Sunday night. Currently, Nigeria occupy second position in the group with 4 points from two games. Zubairu's side needs to beat Kenya on Wednesday to be sure of a place in the quarterfinal. And currently, Kenya lie bottom in the group. But for the Flying Eagles, this is a must win for the team.
No, the last match is not a must win. The draw was enable them qualify because currently Morocco is having 4 points. Nigeria is having 4 points. They are joint leaders on the group.
Okay, so a draw will.
Yes, Tunisia has 3 points. So Tunisia and Morocco play their last final match. So whatever result, either they draw or they whoever win, a draw will qualify Nigeria from the group. If Nigeria draw with Kenya, that will give them 5 points.
5 points.
And if, let us assume Morocco beat Kenya, if Tunisia beat Morocco, that Tunisia has to qualify, then Morocco has to draw. So any of them can cancel themselves out. And even if they play draw, Tunisia will definitely go down. So a draw is enough for the Super Eagles, the Fly Eagles, to progress to the quarterfinal. But however, it's good that the coach has said, no, it's not I looking for even though the draw will be enough for them to progress. It's also important for them to finish the group as a leader of that group. That will determine the strength of the opponent that will likely meet in the quarterfinal. And watching their match yesterday against Morocco, it was quite interesting. I was impressed with the performance of the team, but only that there's a lack of experience. There is clearly show that the boys are not yet mature enough. They lack experience, especially when they get to approaching to the 18-yard box of their opponent. But for the defense line, I was really impressed with their defense line. The lack of Bamia and the lack of Shukus combined well for the defense line, do a very marvelous job yesterday against the Moroccan side. And even the Moroccan side, we also play a very good game. But the Flying Eagles, I didn't see Morocco, despite their strengths and despite they have the very good playing in Egypt, never have any shot on target against the Flying Eagle goalkeeper. The Flying Eagle goalkeeper was never called to action throughout the 90 minutes of the match. But on two occasions, the Fly Eagle has to force the Moroccan goalkeeper out for action. So looking at that match, to me, I'm impressed. And even I didn't have the ability to watch their first match against Tunisia, so they won 1-0. But the match I saw yesterday, I was impressed. But only that their approach towards getting the goal, they lack experience, and that is the area because Zubairu need to work on, because their finishings in front of goals is something that calls for a worry. And as the tournament progresses, that's why the strength of opponents also get tougher. So you need to work on it. But like Senegal, I wouldn't say the Kenya, despite losing their first 2 matches to Morocco and Egypt, we shouldn't see them as another dog, and we shouldn't see them that they'll just lie low for you to pass over them. They still have the pride to play for. So, and that is why Zubairu and he needs to talk to his boys so that should do underrate the Kenyan, because they have the national pride to protect. That's why they're already out of the competition.
All right, still on the Flying Eagles, where Super Eagles head coach Eric Chell is expected to hit Egypt today and to show his support behind the Flying Eagles at the ongoing AFCON. The Flying Eagles media officer told reporters that Chell will arrive at the team's Radisson Blue Hotel base today in Cairo, and also it will be an opportunity for the coach to, assess some players and see if he can select some for the upcoming invitational. For me, I think that is the
most target, not even to come and support the team. Because what kind of support? To me, I don't think he's coming there to offer any technical support. But
this is a good one for me because it's been quite a while since we've seen a Super Eagles coach go to an under-20 tournament? Because when was the last time we had players from Super Eagles coming through
from
the
the
ranks?
from that 20.
Exactly. Most of the time, players somehow go abroad, make it on their own, and start hearing their names and call them. But for a time when these players, you go to their camp, see some of them, and maybe speak three, four of them, even if it's two of them, and feel okay. Since an invitational, there's no point using all of your stars. We can use some of these boys and see from there they can start to make their progression into the senior national team.
You are absolutely correct, and I think to me, if whoever is facilitating his movement to Egypt, that they have done a good job. That is the most target, not even to come up to buy
Exactly.
support of the team or how to win the match, but to watch wins of the, because at the age of, yes, those players, yes, is on at 20, but at the age of 17, at the age of 18, you are good to play into the Super Eagles.
Exactly.
The amount we are talking to them who have won the Europe champion. What age is he playing under 18 or something? So the like I say, this is good opportunity for Shell to actually boost the plan. The future belong to the youth, and the current Super Eagles will have it political. Particularly if you look at the defense of the Super Eagles at the moment, yes, either we like it or not. Trust Econ is still very bullish about it, but the age is already going in.
Definitely.
So we need to begin to look, and like what I see yesterday, the captain of the team, Bami, I think that player, that particular player, in particular, can make a case for him in particularly. I can beat Manchester to defend anywhere that guy is right to be in the Super League. Even though he may, like you rightly mentioned, even not up for a competitive match, for a friendly match that is coming in, that guy needs to be tested between a fly good defense line, and he's very good. His leadership, his command, the way he organized the defense, he really moved me a lot yesterday. And I hope Shell should also see something good about in that particular boy.
All right, now to some swimming news where Nigeria's emerging swimming sensation Bubakar Adama has once again made waves at the just ended 16th African Junior Swimming Championship, also taking place in Cairo, Egypt, following the record-breaking performance in the 50 meters butterfly. The 16-year-old swimmer achieved yet another milestone by setting a new record in the 50 meters freestyle. His remarkable time of 12.54 seconds not only secured him the gold medal but also shattered the previous record of 22.65 seconds. He won also gold in the 100 meters freestyle and added a bronze to complete a 4-medal haul for Nigeria. Good one for him, and I hope this should be better days in swimming, because when you look at swimming, especially, and when it comes to international competitions, it's one area where Nigeria hasn't really particularly done well, and people keep wondering that when you go to the southern part of Nigeria, you see very young children who are very good at swimming, and people are continuously asked, why don't we harness these young talents who are good in swimming? Because, like I said earlier, we haven't really fared very well in international competitions. But for someone like this young lad coming up, I think he's someone to look out for, and his skills must be harnessed to those international heights.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct, and I'm also in as much as we commend Abdul for his impressive performance in faraway Egypt. I also want like to use the opportunity to also commend the current board of the Nigeria Swimming Federation, particularly the president and particularly the secretary. Since that guy came, he was a permanent OC, formerly secretary in Nigeria Cricket Federation. These were those that laid foundation, the resources were seen in the Cricket Federation. Then that guy did a very thorough job in the Cricket Federation. And yes, because of the changes made recently in the National Sport Commission, so have the secretary from here to there. The guy was moved to swimming, and we are beginning to see his action. Because just less than 2 months that this guy came to the federation, a lot of things have begun to, a lot of competition have begun to come up. And for the first time, for the first time in recent time, we see a Nigerian swimmer going outside Nigeria to win a medal. And just like you see, swimming is one area that we can harvest a lot, and it's one. And just like say, it's one area that, despite our environmental advantage, we are not taking advantage of the environment we have. We have been surrounded, particularly in the south side, by waters. And those guys play in the water, some of them were ever born in the water, and they are accustomed to the water already, know how to swim in the water. But we don't take advantage of those guys, how to train them, to learn some technique of swimming to make them Olympic champion. So Jabbar has done it very well, and what I say, and it's one area swimming. It's one area that one person can give you 5 gold medals.
Yeah.
And
You
you
can
can
imagine
see
he just
only him.
winning 4
We
medals.
won four
Exactly.
medals at the championship, and all the 4 medals come from him. 3 gold medals and 1 bronze, just only one person. So you can imagine if you can imagine train such an athlete to the Olympic, and only him give you 3 gold medals at the Olympic. What else again?
Yeah.
So that is why these are some of the things the Americans, the Australians are taking the advantage
Of
of.
course.
Even in all Africa games, even you can imagine Egypt, South Africa taking the sign on Nigerian when it comes to swimming.
Yeah.
So we kudos to commend the board for his victory, and also all the federation led by Madam Shinye, and the secretary also to continue the good job they are doing, and probably more support. Because one thing I noticed during this competition that where I'm the National Sport Commissions, when if you recall at the last weightlifting event, we have the chief of the National Commission followed them to Mauritania, to Mauritius, and then even at the currently the wrestling federation, the wrestling athletes are also going there. You see some story, but I didn't hear any comment from the National Sport Commission commending the effort of this young boy. To me, it's a big slap of the National Sport Commission. A young boy of under 16 went outside Nigeria.
That we haven't even heard anything from
outside Nigeria to get those to get 3 gold medal, and from that competition, is the only black African, except the Arab, that won it, that made the podium. But no any comment from either the chairman of the National Commission or the chief of the National Commission or any other body from the National Commission has made a comment about the performance of this boy. To me, it's a serious slap on their part.
All right, let's move on to some other stories now, where the NPFL, that's the Nigerian Premier Football League, has banned the Star Media Director Emmanuel Uja from all its activities for what the NPFL called breaching the framework and rules following his unguarded statement. According to him, to Uja, the NPFL, he had granted an interview where he suggested that Lobby Stars players were involved in match fixing, and according to him, it's one of the major reasons why they have been relegated. But he was asked to retract his statement and apologize, but so far he has been banned from all NPFL related activities. So, except maybe there's something he knows that some of us don't know, and maybe he got angry and decided to spill it all out. But the NPFL apparently are not happy with his comments.
But to me, it's an insider.
Exactly.
It's a stakeholder of Lobby Star, and Lobby Star have one of the worst performance in the current season. And an insider, a senior official, a key member of the team, like a media officer, came out to ground and alleged the players are selling out machine. Yes, whatever is the rule book of the NPFL.
You expect the NPFL to investigate the matter.
Thank you very much. Exactly. Just take the word out of my mouth. He said, you are only asking him to apologize. Yes. Apologize to who? Apologize to the players. I apologize to the league. But investigate the matter and find out either what he say is true or false. Yeah. You know, we are meant to understand both the giver and the receiver are guilty of the offense. So if they find out that as he alleged, NFF to NPF to even take the matter into the specific committee, help us find out. Call the guy for question, and probably some of the players here, let's make sure. Interview them and find out. At least that will even do you well and sanitizing the league rather than asking him to just apologize. Yeah. To me, the Elegbele and his team need to do more. They shouldn't just ask the guy to apologize for what? Investigate the matter and find out, because people alleged has the gift to prove.
Definitely. All right, now to some other football news that's talking about the Federations Cup men's quarter-final results, which took place in the course of the weekend. It was Abakili FC who played out a 1-1 draw against National United, but Abakili won 5-4 on penalties. Wiki Tories against Ikorodu City winning that one. Ikorodu City not doing badly in the Federations Cup. Also in the MPFL, Akwa United and Kwara United 2-2 ended in full time, but Kwara United won 5-4 on penalties for Plateau United. Plateau United losing to Rangers of Enugu 1-0 in that one. Now for the next round of fixtures that are talking about the semi-final will be Abakili FC, who will take on Ikorodu FC. That will come up on 17th of May. Kwara United will host Enugu Rangers in the semi-final matchup.
Yeah, what's interesting result at the weekend, the Wiki Tories from NNL surprisingly lost to Kurubu City in Abuja at the Buhari Town Stadium, and like Abakaliki from Ebohi, surprisingly beating Nasarawa. No, Nasarawa is also playing in the Premier League, Premier League club. So, and unlike last season where we have almost three NNL club in the final, and this year we just have only one NNL club in the semi-final, and we Kwara United and Enugu in all Premier League affairs semi-final. So hopefully maybe Abakaliki will definitely make to the final to present NNL in the final, and then Kwara have another NPFL versus NNL in the final like we have last season.
To some boxing news now, where former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua said he will have to undergo a surgery on his elbow later this month. And of course, that will sideline him for about 6 to 8 weeks as he eyes a comeback after a knockout loss to Daniel Dubois last September. He was supposed to, have a rematch, but this injury to his elbow has effectively ruled him out. So there has to be a surgery, and during that time, 6 to 8 weeks before any talk of rematch can take place again.
Honestly, like Anthony Joshua, after he lost his title to Yuski, and tried to come back, he won the first straight match, and before surprisingly knockout against Daniel Bobo, and like that defeat to Daniel has tactically sidelined him for a very long time, or tactically knocked him out. But the young man is trying to come back, and hopefully, and that is why trying to check his health, if he's mentally, if he's fit, and then probably after all we can wish him well a successful surgery and then a successful comeback from the injury.
Right, so bit of transfer news now, where of course over the weekend it was revealed that Tottenham have joined race to sign Victor Boniface from Bayern Leverkusen. Well, as this time still speculation, transfer season was open, so you begin to hear all kinds of speculations.
I should recall, during the summer, I almost moved to the Saudi Arabia at the time minute that deal collapsed. That deal collapsed at the last minute. But I'll be interested to see him come to the Premier League. Tottenham will not be bad one
at all.
Even though Tottenham are not there, they're not doing well this season in the league, but they are doing well in Europe. They already in the semi-final of the Europa League. So coming to the Tottenham, I think it will be an interesting one. Nigeria also would like to see him on the weekly basis playing the Premier League. This is one of the advantages the Premier League have other league. If you are playing in the Premier League, you have opportunities of your people watching you on a weekly basis.
All right, to some other news. Of course, just earlier this morning, Liverpool's Trent Alexander-Arnold had bid his final farewell to the club, says he'll be leaving at the end of the season. Of course, from what we're hearing, a verbal agreement is already in place with Real Madrid on a 5-year deal, and from next season, Arnold will be donning the white of Madrid, plying his trade in Madrid. Well, good one for him. At first, he started like a rumor. At the point, he was like maybe he might stay, not going leave, but finally today he made it clear that he was leaving.
And I'm totally in support of his decisions. He has joined the Liverpool at the age of 60. He spent 20 years in Liverpool. He has won all he wanted to win in the Premier in Liverpool. He won the Champions League with Liverpool. He won the two times Premier League, two titles with the Premier League with the Liverpool. But one thing I'm not comfortable with is sometimes the way the club or the fans react to players' decisions. That's what I explained. The player also has a right to decide when to play.
Someone cannot play with you forever.
Exactly. If you don't expect him to end his career at Liverpool, he has never played in any other club other than Liverpool. He joined at the age of 6. He has been in Liverpool for 20 years. And now, and
this is Madrid we are talking about.
This is Madrid we are talking about for crying out loud. He has won all he wanted to win. Win two Premier League titles for you, one Champions League for you. What else did you want him? What is there anything left for him to win with Liverpool? No. So allow him to try his luck elsewhere. And particularly at the time this is and a club like Madrid is coming. What do you expect him? But A whole lot of fans. I can see on social media striking. A lot of Liverpool fans are not happy with that. Actually, but before I come to this, I even saw that they even ban him from a popular nightclub in Liverpool.
Sometimes fans just take these things too far. This is just
sometimes I even say that he has destroyed Liverpool legacy in pursuit of the other to go and win the Ballon d'Or. What now? For 20 years, spent 20 years one club. I like him.
Like they say, nobody. Have you ever seen a player who said no to Madrid? No player says no to Madrid. That's the dream of every player. Even coaches, when you call a coach, Madrid calls the coach.
Whatever the contract or the thing, even if the money is less,
yeah,
the pride is there.
Exactly. Still on Real Madrid, where coach Carlo Ancelotti has revealed that he may not lead the club to the FIFA Club World Cup tournament in the summer. Of course, there are speculations that at the end of the season, he might likely be leaving the club. Already, there are rumors of yeah, exactly, rumors high of being in contact to take up the Brazilian national team job.
You know, since almost 2 years now, the Brazilians they have been on his way trying to get him, but he was never trying to concede to the idea. But it's like the post season. What do I say? Post season, yes, post season to some extent, except they are 4 points behind Barcelona, and if the Clasico at the coming weekend will decide either they have any hope or no hope at all. So if they lose the Clasico to Madrid or to Barcelona automatically. They are out completely this year without winning anything. It's like the poor season, the poor end of the season has encouraged his show not to even end his contract because he still have 1 year left on his contract, not to end his contract, but rather to move to Barcelona to begin to agree to the idea of the Brazilian national team. And like he rightly saying that I may not lead the club to the club, clearly see that he has made up his mind to leave at the end of the season.
Of course, for lack of time, let's go straight to the Champions League second leg, which will begin tomorrow. Of course, it will be, yeah, sure, it will be Inter Barcelona Tuesday, while PSG will take on Arsenal on Wednesday. Of course, we all saw that pulsating encounter at Barcelona, where, of course, Inter Milan put up a show. Inter Milan could have easily won that game, but somehow pegged back 3 times by Barca in that one, having gone 2-0 up initially.
Yeah. The way that match and just like say it was an interesting encounter, nobody saw it that way. Yeah. I believe it's one of those matches that has got a lot of people ticket. Got nobody expected that result for Inter. In as much as Inter is not an
well, for me, I had tipped Inter to win because seeing Inter all to the Champions League from the second round, I've told people that for me, Inter were, the dark horse because, Inter looked like a team. Like I keep telling people, I said Inter was a team that nobody should overlook. And they showed it clearly against Barca. And in this second leg, it could still go either way. And you won't be surprised if you see Inter in the final.
You're absolutely correct. Maybe as they did in 2009, where everybody expected that they win the championship. And one thing about it is that there's no any particular player that can call his staff or to tie down. And just like I was trying to say earlier, I didn't expect that result. Like I must confess, I didn't expect that result to go that way in the way of Inter. And just like, if not for Inter, either like that's got to some extent or lack of concentration from some extent, they could have won that match with a good advantage going to the second leg. Now, but as it is, allowing Barcelona to come down as engineered by Yaman, so to me, they have given Barcelona opportunities to probably get the best for the other to get. Because going to the second leg now it's like 50-50. 3-3. But Inter stand at no any advantage. If it was before where away go can't, we have said they have away go advantage. But as it is now, it is still like 0-0. It's 50-50%, and they start at no advantage than Barcelona. Both of them have 50-50% to progress to the final. So and it's going to be an interesting and like Barcelona. They are going to welcome their Lewandowski back. Have an injury. They're going to like of Rafinha, all declared fit for this man. So it's going to be a very interesting encounter like the first leg on Tuesday game.
Of course, Wednesday also will be PSG who will take on Arsenal. PSG with the advantage 1-0, slim advantage anyway, but Arsenal will be going away to the Parc des Princes in France to take on a very highly mobile PSG side.
Yeah, if during the preliminary round in the group stage, Arsenal went to the PSG and beat them 2-0. But that's in the past. We are talking of the current. And if you look at the way Arsenal are playing towards the end of last season, I must confess, I must say the truth. I don't give any chance for Arsenal to recover from that one defeat. But this is football. Look, and more important, look at what Arsenal play at the weekend against Portland.
It looks like most times towards the end of the season, Arsenal loses some steam.
It's like I don't know. It has happened over again, and a lot of people are beginning to complain. So you don't clearly look. And if you must end the season well. But when people are trying to end the season well, you see Arsenal struggling at the last towards end of the season after rising people's hope high. Okay, like the match they have against Madrid. Nobody give them a chance to beat Madrid, but they beat Madrid both home and away, and that give people a lot of motivation, the courage that okay, PSG may not stand there on their chance. But surprisingly, PSG came to their home. Completely outplay Arsenal. Arsenal never allowed Arsenal to play their game.
Exactly.
They dictated the pace of the game. I believe so that they were even lucky that it was just one goal. If not, PSG would have run away with at least 3 goals, 2 goals. But with 1 goal, I don't know how anything can happen in the game of football now. But because Arsenal are going to have the mid party, particularly the mid party, Thomas Partey in that particular match. Now they're going to have Thomas Partey back. But Thomas Partey was part of the team that played at the weekend. That's what I also tap on my spirit. There's part of the team that all of them play at the weekend against Baltimore. And apology to Baltimore to use the word ordinary Baltimore. But still, Baltimore defeated them at their own home 2-1. And now, in terms of that, when we are match going to the next round, it gives you some courage. But when we are coming from on the defeating ground, it's always dampen your morale. I don't know the kind of talk Arteta is going to talk to the players against PSG and the kind of morale they're going to talk. Although I read an interview by former Arsenal coach this morning, and where he said that Arsenal still stand at advantage against the PSG. But according to his room, now the pressure will be on the PSG to defend their goal. But if the PSG will say they will defend their goal, that will be their greatest undue. It's rather Arsenal have anything to do, but all they need to do is to come out and play to get a goal. But the PSG wanted to defend their goal, so that will be a sound Arsenal way. But let's see, they are at least they know those games better than we. I know. So, but let's say, but to me, from my own view and from what they have seen Arsenal the weekend, I don't give Arsenal any chance to somebody.
So, seeing PSG in this. Since Enrique took over, PSG is hardly a defending side.
Yeah, they're hardly a defending side, even though they are losing. They're hardly a defending side. And another thing is that, I don't know, they say Dembele may likely miss this match, but PSG is not just about Dembele again.
No, of course.
If you look at that PSG, it's not just about Dembele. Because even when the Dembele was removed at Arsenal ground, the guy, the Dambora, they call him, the guy Bokora, the guy that they brought to substitute the Dembele. Also miss a clear chance.
Exactly.
That would have been another goal. So it's not about the PSG, it's not about the Billy.
Very well. All right. Those matches come up tomorrow and on Wednesday, and we will keep an eye on that. So please, when we come back during the week, we'll give you a complete review of that and other sporting events as they happen around the world. That's our package on today's edition of the program. Hopefully, we'll be back with another exciting edition of the program during the week. Thank you for staying with us on today's edition of the program. Salify, thank you for being in the studio on today's edition.
Thank you, Ashley.
All right, until we come your way, do have a wonderful time. My name is Afa Achuan. It's bye for now.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158.